Hello, my friends. Thank you so much for coming to Baby Child and Co. once again. This one promises to be very exciting because we haven't actually done this before. And we have a very special guest today. I'm not sure about the designation. She's a child care expert, which but I know she does other things as well. And just while we are waiting for a few people to join, because I don't see anyone online now, let me tell you about Baby Child and Co. So, Baby Child and Co. is an organization that does child health education. And we do that through blogging. So, we write and then we do videos. But our aim is only one, to educate parents to make the right choices for their children. And normally, when we think about health, we are only thinking about whether my child is sick or not sick. But health has a lot more to do than whether your child is sick or not sick. Health has to do with how the family relates to other members. Health has to do with whether your child's childhood is actually very fulfilling, whether they are happy, whether your relationship is great, and whether they are succeeding at the things they do, not only books, but succeeding at any task that they want to do. As children do, they play those sort of things. So that is what we do on Baby Child and Co. So thank you so much for joining. Kindly share this on your walls and tag others so that um, they would also be part of what we are doing. And Madame Pamela Abe, as I said, is a child care expert, and she's a teacher as well, trained in early childhood education. And she's here to talk to us about toddlers, how we can handle our toddlers. So, Pamela, you are welcome to our live show this afternoon.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Siri. I'm glad to be here.
Thank you. We are happy to have you. So, tell us about toddlerhood. Why is toddlerhood such an important stage?
Okay. So toddlerhood is so the age range is between two to 6 years old. And the next question is why is what?
Why is toddlerhood so important? Why must we
Okay.
talk about toddlerhood? Why must we handle it well?
Okay. So toddlerhood is a stage where you have a child that feels that he or she is grown. Okay, that's the stage in the life of a child where they feel that I am grown because they came in, so they were infants and then became babies, watching everything that was going on at home, grasping things that we think they were not grasping, identifying so many things happening at home, hearing so many things. And then they get to the stage where they are walking and then they are now trying to communicate. So, and that's the time where they feel, hey, I've arrived. I'm an adult. I can do this. I can do that. Then again, that's the stage where it's very critical in early childhood development because that's the stage where if you don't take care, you think that per what they are showing or per their actions, they know what they are about, but they still need direction. So it's highly important that we talk about toddlerhood in everything that comes with
That
it.
comes with it. All right. So, I think we all know tantrums. We don't really need to define tantrums. Um, when do toddlers stop throwing tantrums? And then why do they throw tantrums? I think why they throw tantrums and then when they stop throwing tantrums.
Okay, so again, I think we should define what tantrum is.
All right.
Yes, it's very critical to define what tantrums are. So, um, I'm the mother, I gave birth to you, I tell you what to do this, do that. Then you decide to do what you want. So, what are some of the actions that this little adult show to us, or this little human show to us? They whine, They cry, they scream, kicking, hitting, and sometimes they hold their breaths. When they're upset, they tend to hold their breaths. All these things are some tantrums that they exhibit. So the question was, please repeat the question again.
So you defined what tantrums are.
Yes.
Why do the toddlers throw tantrums?
So tantrums are a normal part of child development. They are how young children show that they are upset or frustrated because their language is yet to develop or is now developing. They tend to use more of their actions to show or to express how they feel. So it's a way of communicating to us adults. So that is why they throw the tantrums that we see that they throw. It's a way of they communicating to us.
So basically, they are saying that I don't have the words to say how I am feeling. And
Exactly.
since you must know that I am feeling a certain way, I'm going to do these actions. All
Exactly.
right. Okay. So now we know that that is why they throw tantrums and it's a normal part of toddlerhood. Um, do parents sometimes cause their toddlers tantrums? Another way of putting this question is there a way to make them not throw so many tantrums? Because it's not, if we say do parents make them have tantrums, that's like a parent is knowingly doing something to make their child upset. But is there a way to make your child not throw tantrums, or at least to minimize it?
Okay. All right. So let me just give a background. I think we have to understand why it happens and then we can get to how we can manage it. Because in the beginning, like I said, is the way they communicate. So if they are not throwing these tantrums, then it means we don't have our children communicating how they feel to us. And emotions, it's very important, even for us adults. If we feel unhappy about something, we should be able to express it. So our children or our toddlers tend to show tantrums as a way of expressing their emotions. So why? So let me try and answer this in this way. So why does my child have tantrums? Some preschoolers show tantrums for some same reasons they did as toddlers. Okay, because they're exhausted, hungry, or scared. But at this age, it's more likely because your child wants to test your authority or manipulate you. This isn't a knock on your parenting skills at all, or a sign that your child will be a rebellious teenager. No. It's a normal part of your child's development and growing independent. So your child will occasionally provoke you. He or she may try to learn more about how you respond to conflict. Can you imagine? They try to provoke us to see how we respond to conflict. Remember that in the beginning, I was saying that they started as infants, then babies, watching everything that we're doing, how we're reacting, how we're behaving towards daddy, mommy, grandma, whoever. So when they get to that stage, they try to test you because they are trying to say that you have seen you like this before, but you think I've not seen you. So let's see how you react. And then some tantrums are also associated with developmental problems, such as delayed language skills or hearing or vision difficulties, severe stress, parents' divorce, the death of a parent, or other emotional upsets may prompt tantrum like behavior. So, in this case, you need a pediatrician to assess these problems. So, to the answer to the question, could I be causing my child's tantrums? You may be doing so unknowingly. Unrealistic expectations and rigid rules can make children feel trapped Tantrums may be a sign that you are putting too much pressure on your child. But having too few rules and making up your child's schedule as you go can also create problems. So we have some of us at home, parents, very busy parents. Because of that, we have drawn rules and regulations at home that we want them to follow. And what happens? Hey, my goodness. So I have my 4-year-old here.
Who is
She's
about to
doing
start throwing a tantrum?
she's doing things here. Phoebe, come here. Go here. Don't touch anything, okay? All right. Please. No tantrum. So yeah, so we'll have some of us have some rules and regulations at home. Most of us paste it in our kitchens because that's where most family time occurs. So the challenge here is that when you are creating those rules, you need to create it with your children. Okay, because when you end up creating a rule for them to follow, it's one thing that you have created it, and the other thing is for them to understand what they are following. So it's best that we create these rules with the children. So you have a child rebelling the rules. Okay. The next one, you have if you ignored tantrums in the past or gave in to keep the peace. So when your child was maybe a year old, your child will just pull your hair, and then you say, "Oh, stop it! Oh, stop it!" The child knows that if I pull mommy's hair, she'll just smile and then say, "Stop it." You need to let the child understand that it's hurting me, so stop it. Then they understand that there's pain. But if you don't educate the child, I mean, let the child understand why you are saying he or she should stop pulling your hair and you are just smiling about it. By the time this same 1 year old gets to 2 years old, in the midst of your friends, they will start pulling your hair. And then when you try to stop them, they don't understand it because remember that when I was 1 year old, I was pulling it and you were smiling. I like that you were smiling about it. So how come I'm 2 years old?
No, I
You are not
can't do it
smiling.
anymore. Okay.
Ah,
So let me interject. I had a question earlier when you said that tantrums are a normal part of toddlerhood.
okay.
If there is a child who doesn't throw any tantrums at all, should we be worried about such a child?
Okay. So, like I said,
Let's say it's a two
so
year old, a two
yes,
year
a
old who
2 year
doesn't
old.
throw any
So that
tantrums.
is that is where so tantrums start. Phoebe, please stop it, please. Okay. So tantrums start from a year old until 4 years old. They outgrow it at 4. So 2 years old who isn't throwing any form of tantrum doesn't cry when they don't get he or she doesn't get. So is it a she or a he? If there is a
They.
they, okay. So if they don't get what they want and they do not cry about it, someone takes something that belongs to them and they do not talk about, they do not whine, yell, they do not express anything about it. They want to take something from the table, mommy says don't touch it. A child doesn't say anything and is 2 years old, then um, you may have to visit a pediatrician
Yeah.
because they
So
need at that stage, yes.
yeah. So that is something that we need to bear in mind as parents, that if you have a child, if you have a toddler who doesn't throw any tantrums at all, there may be a problem. It may be because that is a toddler who is being abused. So the person is so abused that they are so withdrawn, they have learned not to show any emotions at all. Or it may be a toddler whose emotional development is um there's a problem. So toddlerhood comes with tantrums, and that is what we should all know, expect it, and learn how to deal with it. Now,
Yes.
let's say because of something you have already said, let's say I'm going out with my toddler, because you said that there are certain things that may make tantrums come more frequently or worse. Let's say
Yes.
I'm going out with my toddler, and we all know how we don't want our children to disgrace, in quotes, us in public.
Yes.
So, what are the things that I should do as a parent to make sure that my toddler doesn't throw a tantrum? And I've seen quite a number of people joining us. Please, you can put your questions in the chat box or the comment section, and then we will answer them for you. So, if you have questions, feel free to ask them. And I was asking, let's say I'm going out with my toddler, what are some of the things that I can do to reduce the chances of a tantrum happening when I am outside?
Okay. Right. So back to it again. Toddlers throw tantrums, or toddlers express how they feel through tantrums. So if I have my 2-year old who at home she does what she wants. There's no I do not help my child to manage her emotions properly. So she's able to do whatever she wants. She eats, doesn't tidy up. I do that for her. She everything that she wants to do at home, she's allowed to do it because my friends are not around, or my colleagues or my peers, whatever, are not around. Now, when we go out, she's going to behave the same way because remember that that is how she's communicating. So if I can at home, I can scream for something and I'll get it. Then if I'm out, my mom is still there. I should be able to scream and still get it. I should be able to yell and still get it. Or if at home I yell and I'm beating and then whatever I want is given to me, when we go out, I'll do the same thing. So again, whatever we allow our children to do at home, if we encourage it, when we go out with them, they will show it. Now, when they start showing those signs, the best we can do. So let me be very practical and so I have my 4-year old here doing what before we started, she was calm and all that, and then already she's going back and forth here. So the best I can do is calm down myself. So my child is throwing tantrums in the midst of my friends, disgracing me, so to speak. Then I'll say, "Oh, Phoebe, please, can you calm down?" Because they hear everything that we say, they understand what we say. I say, "Oh, Phoebe, please, can you calm down? Can you keep quiet so that I can talk to Auntie when I'm done? Give me 2 minutes. When I'm done, I'll get back to you." We can try something like that. Or, mommy, I want water. And there's no water around. Phoebe, can you give? So always you have to decide with them, decide with them. Phoebe, right now we don't have water around. What do we do? Okay, mommy, when you are done, are you getting it? So at home, maybe that's not what happens, but now we are in town and we are trying to keep up appearance. So that is where we have to start a dialogue with your child. So in the case where you have some toddlers that, hey, dialogue is not working, you just have to carry your child and then excuse yourself. And then, yes.
So, at the beginning, we mentioned some situations that are more likely to make your child throw a tantrum.
Yeah.
So, let's say that you have noticed that whenever your child is feeling sleepy or very tired, they tend to throw a tantrum. Or you have noticed that whenever your child is hungry, they tend to throw a tantrum. So, in addition to what you have said, it will be practical that if you know that your child is throwing more tantrums when they are tired, then perhaps before you go out, or if you know you are going to church, you don't wake them up so early, or before you go out, then everybody has a nap. So everybody is in a cheery mood already before you go out, and then they are not hungry, they have eaten, and everybody is relaxed, and that will also make it easier for you to
Exactly.
reduce their tantrums. So we have a
Yeah.
question, and we can take that one before we go on. This question is coming from Eddie Elom. Elom is asking, at what age do I have to start working on their tantrum or emotions? So I think you can first of all tell us, you have already begun anyway. So we're trying to prevent some, and then for some of them, we are trying to handle it by putting rules in place, giving explanations. So, are there more ways that we can work on their tantrums, and at what age should we start?
Okay. Thank you. Hello. Hello. Good to have you here. Right. At what age? So I would say that as soon as your baby, as soon as you deliver, as soon as you have your baby in your arms, you start conscientizing yourself that everything that I do around this baby has to be intentional, because as soon as a child is born, they start, in fact, it starts from the stomach. It starts from during pregnancy. Everything that they hear around us, they start learning. Now we give birth to them, they are in our arms, we bring them home. The learning continues, the observation continues, because now they are outside, they are seeing, oh, so this is where I live, this is where I believe in. Oh, this is the sound that I was hearing from mommy's stomach, mommy's belly when she was pregnant with me. So we have to bear in mind that once our babies come home into our homes, discipline starts or management starts, so to speak. So, at what age? I would say that start from birth. Baby comes home, conscientize yourself that whatever I do around my baby, they are getting it, they are watching, they are listening. Because, like I said, a tantrum starts from 1 year. That is when language skills starts developing. In fact, some children's language skills starts developing at a very early age. You can have a 6 months old already babbling, blah, 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 blah. It's language. You get it. So once they start, you observe that your child is babbling, making babbling songs and sounds, trying to repeat things that you say to them, then tantrum will start coming, because you have a 6 month old, I have a 7 month old. I mean, when he has a toy and I try to take it from him because I want to give him a bath, he'll frown, he'll start making some noises. That is tantrum. Tantrum has already started at 6 months, at 7 months. So if I don't start managing that, by 2 years old, this same boy tantrums would escalate.
So, how do you manage it?
So how do I manage it? So baby is 7 months old and he has a toy, but I know that I'm the one controlling whatever happens at home, isn't it? I'm your mom. It's time for you to take your bath. He doesn't know that. He knows that he's playing. So I just have to talk to him. His name is Ross. I say, Ross, it's time to bath. Please let me take your toy and put it down. When you are done, I'll give it back to you. In the first time, he will frown, he will make noises, yeah. But and when you are done bathing, you have to give the toy back to him. So with time, it will register in baby's mind that when mommy takes my toy, and then when mommy takes my toy, it means she's going to bath for me, or it means she's going to dress me up, and then she'll give me back my toy. Communication. The mistake that we do is we feel that once our children are not yet walking, then they don't understand what we do. But it's a misconception. Once we give birth to them, whatever we do, they are watching. They are trying to make sense of what is happening around them. So the baby's brain is like a foam. In Montessori, it's called the absorbent mind. A baby's brain is like a foam, and it soaks a lot of information. By the time they get to that toddlerhood from 2 years old or from 1 year old, they have a lot. So they know that when mommy does this, mommy will just snatch things from me. Mommy will just, so the thing to do is to communicate with them, talk to them.
So,
As
how
I,
about a 3-year old? a 3-year-old who understands, or let's say your 4-year-old who understands that right now you are live, and she's still making noise that she knows they can hear, and you have told her to sit down, to keep quiet, and she's not doing so. How about a 3-year-old? How do you deal with the 3-year-old?
Okay. So Phoebe here is 4 years old and she knows mommy. She knows how I am. In fact, I say I'm a child, early childhood expert, but this is what is happening. So the best I can do is before even we started the program, I ensure that everything around here was safe. Okay. So the goal is that Phoebe will definitely start doing certain things because mommy is talking to somebody. So already I know that everything that I have here around me is safe. She can play around and all that. Now the only thing that would be danger to her is or would worry me is that if she pulls the charger from the laptop, she turns the lights off and all that. So with that, I can tell her that Phoebe, please when you turn the lights off, I won't be able to talk to auntie. Can you please stop? Can you please stop? She will understand. You get it?
Okay.
So, yes. So you have to
But
make sure
we
that the
have
place.
we come from a culture where we believe that children must be seen, not heard. Growing up, typically, if there was a stranger at home or a visitor at home, you were expected to go to your room and sit there. And a lot of us or a lot of people think that that is good upbringing to make your children disappear whenever there's anything interesting happening or anything new happening. And now you're saying that you have to talk to them. So, like you talk to them and they haven't stopped because Phoebe hasn't stopped. She's still going on. So, talking hasn't stopped it. What do you do?
Okay. So we have to also understand that we can't impose what we know on our children. You have to see your child. So I'm seeing Phoebe as another human being with her own way of life, her own way of decision making. So she has still not stopped going back and forth. She's even telling me that her brother is asleep and whatnot. I have to understand that this is Phoebe. This is how Phoebe is. Whatever I'm doing here, she's seeing mommy talking to auntie. She's grasping it. I don't have to tell Phoebe that Phoebe stay in your room. I'm going to have a session. I want Phoebe to be part of the session. I don't have to wait till Phoebe gets to adolescent age before I let her know what I do. Do we get it? The mistake that our parents did was to hide us and not know stars. Me, like, to be honest, I grew up before I got to know what my mom was actually doing, like my mom's occupation and all that. But it's important that we grow with our children. Again, tantrum is how they communicate. If we understand that bit, when they start acting in certain ways, we understand that actually this is how they are trying to communicate with us, and it's not that they are disturbing us. But if they start acting in a way that they are hurting themselves, maybe they start biting their hands, that's because you tell them to stop, they'll take something to hurt themselves or hurt another person, then it's time for you to visit your pediatrician. Miriam, did I capture what you
Asked,
asked?
someone has asked a question that was exactly on my mind. Elom again. So, in some cases, you try and control and talk to them as you are showing us live, but they still continue what they are doing, or they still throw tantrums. You say, "Oh, stop! They stop." I mean, we are in church. Stop. But that is when they will jump on the ground and they are rolling and they are screaming and everybody is watching them. So you are talking, the communication hasn't helped, the behavior hasn't changed. Do we term these children hyperactive and say that they need special attention?
Okay, so again, This is my plan for today. I plan to have a session online. Phoebe knows that at this time I'm with her at home. We are doing what we have to do together. But I have planned to have a time with Saram and Saram's audience. She doesn't get it that mommy has to talk to somebody else. So whatever she will do to get my attention, she will do so. However, if so, the question, let me attempt the question so that,
The
but they
question says that
functions,
talking
make
hasn't
them,
helped. Do you now term these children hyperactive because you are finding it difficult to control them? Talking hasn't helped. Do you term them hyperactive and say that they need special attention?
okay. Um, so mothers, God gave us something that He didn't give to the fathers. He gave us intuition, okay, or instincts. Our instincts as mothers is very powerful. So if you feel within your hearts of hearts that what my child is doing or how my child is acting is questionable, I don't get it. It's irritating. I'm trying all I can, but still, I'm using all the terms, the nice words. I'm rewarding her to keep quiet, to behave, so and so. It's still not working. Then what do I have to do? I have to seek for um, medical attention. I have to see a pediatrician. It's always safe to listen to our instinct if the thing is telling us that this is too extreme. I don't like to term children with words hyperactive because it's important your child is hyperactive because in some cases, if they are dull, so from between toddlerhood and preschool ages, your child has to be very active. If they are not active, then there's a question mark. You get it?
So let's now take some real life scenarios. Like I have had toddlers as well. So let's take some real life scenarios. Priscilla, I see your question from YouTube, but we'll come to it just in a bit. Let's say that we are going to church, and my 3-year-old insists on wearing one white shoe and one black shoe, and says that if she doesn't wear it, I mean, you want to change it, and she's on the floor. Her dress is getting dirty. Practically, how do you deal with that? You've talked to her. She says no, today she must wear one white shoe and one black shoe.
Okay. So what did you want her to wear?
I wanted her to wear same pair, either both a pair black or a pair white. She wants to wear half, half.
Okay. Has it happened before?
Well, I mean, I'm sure every parent of a toddler can identify with this situation. It has
I
happened to
get
me
it,
in
but
variations.
I'm trying to say that is it the
Yeah.
first time your child is making such a request
So
that
there,
you
there
want
are
to wear
many
half half?
variations. So in
Eh,
my own life, there are many variations. So it can be with shoes, or it can be with my daughter saying that this morning she's not going to brush her teeth before going to school. Or
Okay.
it can be with saying something like, you want her to you basically just want her to do something at that time, and then
Yes.
she gets upset.
Yes. Okay.
But I really like the shoe and the brushing teeth
Okay.
example because I'm,
Okay.
I'm sure a lot of parents can identify
Exactly.
with those in
Yes.
those situations. What do you do? Let's talk about the shoe. What do you do?
Okay. So with the shoe, so ah, um, mommy wants. I mean, in fact, mommy has bought you a pair of shoes, black, black, white, white, green, green. Green goes with green, black goes with black. And you always wear your pair to church or to school. But just this morning, you want to wear two different colors. Phoebe, why do you want to wear black and white? So the child is 3 years old, right?
Yes.
Phoebe, why do you want, it means that your child has started communicating. Phoebe, why do you want to wear the black and then the white one? Because that is what I want to wear. Okay. So what I'll do, I'll say, Phoebe, you can wear it. But when we get to the gate, we'll just have to change it. Okay? So I'm going to wear, you're going to wear your black and white shoe, solo. But when we get to the gate, you are going to wear you're going to wear it same color. Is that all right? Okay. And most times it works. Do you know why? Because at that moment, like I said again, that's the stage where they feel that they are adults. So they'll be like, wow, mommy, I want to do this. Mommy says, okay. Okay. Wow. They understand that mommy has given them the chance to decide how they want to dress. Now, when
So
we
I,
get to the
I,
gate,
I really love your answer, and I just want to expand on it a little because these are the
okay,
kind of behaviors that we want parents to do,
exhibit.
because
Yes.
it really helps with controlling the tantrum. Acknowledge that they are human beings. So
Yes.
I acknowledge that my daughter is a person. At this moment, she's feeling that she wants to wear this and that, which is not what I have chosen for her to wear. But she has a will of her own. It's not really appropriate for her to wear black and then to wear white. But she says that that is what she's going to wear. So it's not a bad thing for us to compromise. Like you can make her wear a half pair black and a half pair white, and then you get in the car. But you've told her that by the time we get to the church gate, you are going to change. Sometimes by the time you even get to the church gates, they have forgotten. They've forgotten that, I mean, they were throwing a tantrum earlier because of this. And then when you try to change it, then they don't offer any resistance because you have acknowledged that they are human beings with feelings already. And we are afraid that we will be too permissive if we allow it. But you see, you're not being too permissive because the rule is still that when you go to church, you wear the same pair. But now we are in the car, and just to avoid, because a tantrum will probably lead to another tantrum, will probably lead to another tantrum, but
You will
just to
be
avoid,
late for church.
yes, just by the time we get to the gate, you can do that. Or brushing teeth.
Yes.
I mean,
Or
yes, in my example, in the mornings, I'm so hurried. I just don't have the patience to play games. So if you say you won't brush your teeth, okay, what about when you get to school? Will you let your teacher brush your teeth? Sometimes the answer is yes, sometimes the answer is no. Do you know why you brush your teeth? Germs, they will, those sort of things. So sometimes, I mean, because if, in fact, I know that my child, if I tried to get her to brush her teeth at that moment, when I don't even have the patience, because ordinarily teeth brushing should be a joyful thing. We are singing, we are brushing all together. But when I don't even have the patience to make it fun, and if she doesn't really get it, so sometimes, not to be too permissive, the rule is that your teeth must be brushed morning and evening. But I think as a parent, you can get creative ways of doing it. But my next question is,
okay.
won't that spoil your child?
Can I come in with the teeth bit?
Yeah.
Yes. So quick one. So brushing your teeth is very crucial. Okay. So if one morning, Phoebe just says, I'm in a hurry to go to work, which I'm always in a hurry in the mornings, and I know that I have to ensure Phoebe brushes her teeth, but she says she's not brushing it. Phoebe, okay, how about you brush your tongue? Just brush your tongue, okay? And then we can leave the top part. She will do it. You get it? So
Yes.
it's
Another very
psychological.
good, yeah.
Uh-huh. Because the toothpaste has to touch the mouth. It's very important. So we have so many parts to brush. Okay, Phoebe, let's just brush here, just your tongue. When she finishes brushing that bit, or you finish brushing that bit, she'll forget. I like
Yeah,
that you
most
said
of the
the
time
same
they
round.
forget. Most
They
of the
forget.
time they just
They
forget.
just
Once,
want to be rebellious. Before you
yeah.
realize, mommy, before you realize you want to end it too, but they say, mommy, end here too. Mission accomplished.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's another one. I'm sure another one parents can identify with is Friday wear. It's Friday, and your daughter says that as for this Friday wear, it is what I wore yesterday that I'm going to wear. And then you insist that they must wear the Friday wear, and you will be late. And the later you get, the more upset you are, and the more the tantrum will get worse. Because I mean, why? I want to wear, so like a similar tip. All right. So you wear this. Let's go. I'm putting your Friday wear in your bag. When
Yes.
we get to the gate, you will change.
Mhm.
Or as soon as I give you to your teacher, let your teacher change you. So at least you have accomplished something. You manage not to be late. You manage not to experience a lot of crying in the morning that has put you in a bad mood, and then you shout on all the drivers on the street, and then your child still gets to wear the school uniform to school, the one that you want them to wear, because by the time they get to the gate, they've even forgotten. Their attention span is so small, so short. But
Yes.
the fear we all have as parents is, won't we spoil our children? So when we do this, when we continue to bargain, continue to negotiate, won't we spoil our children?
Okay. So again, let's remember that your child is a human being who would grow up into an adult like you have as well. So bargaining is important. Helping your child to decide, to make decisions on their own. Not that you are leaving them to decide, but you are deciding with them. When they grow up to the age where you think they are grown, so you have it. So let's take it in two parts. You have it that you do everything for your child to avoid tantrums. Then when they get to 5 years old, where you feel that they have to be independent to be able to do certain things, they are relying on you. Then you are confused. Remember that you were trying to avoid the tantrum, so you were doing everything to not let the tantrum show. Now they get to a stage where you feel, hey, my child is 6 years old. My child should be able to do. No, it is not. It is not it's not magic. That as soon as they get to that age, that we feel that they should be able to do certain things, the thing should just happen. No, that is why tantrums again is how these children are communicating with us. You get, so the tantrum is not just that they want to worry us or something. They are just telling us that I have an opinion, mommy. I have an opinion. And who wouldn't want their child to have opinion? So it's not that you are spoiling your child, but you are um, growing with your child. You are managing, you are relating with your child as you would with another adult. Just so,
At this stage, let me take Prisla's question because he's been waiting for a long time. Prisla is
okay.
asking, is it appropriate to spank lightly your toddler after throwing tantrums if she doesn't listen when you talk to her? So I want you to remember that this behavior is a bad behavior. Throwing a tantrum, I mean, it's good that you threw a tantrum, so I know how you feel, but you have overdone it. You've been on the floor for 30 minutes. Nothing changed. Is it appropriate for me to spank you a little? Which means that I'm taking care not to, it's not a kind of a spanking that will leave a mark on you or that will cause you pain for 5 minutes. Something, any symbolic thing. Just, yeah, they will say, I just touched there. I just touched her, I didn't beat her. So
Okay.
something like that.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. So, Sarah, let me share this with us. So, there are different types of tantrums. Okay. Each tantrum and how you control it. So, there's a fatigue or frustration tantrum. Your child is hungry. Your child is tired. Means that your child wants to sleep. If your child is not getting the chance to sleep, they will throw a tantrum. So there's a fatigue one. Then there's the attention seeking tantrums. Your child, you are like I have like right now with Phoebe here, I'm with you, Sarah, she's here, she wants my attention. Okay, then that's the point where parents will spank. I have a visitor and my child wants my attention. It is understandable because at that time you planned that meeting with your friends. Your child wasn't part of the planning and they don't get it that is happening. So they'll do something to get your attention. Then there's a refusal or avoidance tantrum. Okay, it's time to eat. I'll not eat. I'm in a hurry. I'll not do it. Okay, then the destructive tantrum. So all these are the types of tantrum, but Spanking them. Let's be mindful that whatever we do to them at that age, when they grow up into adulthood, they will understand that I have to be beaten before I'll get what I want. Okay. So I'll say that Phoebe, stop it. It's not working. Stop, it's not working. I'm trying all the nice things. Then I hit her. It will register in her head that if I want something, I'll do that thing. Mommy will spank me and she'll do it for me. Or mommy will spank me, she'll not do it for me. Okay. Then they grow up with that thought that I have to be spanked. Do you get it? So the Bible, yes, the Bible says that we should spare the rod and yes, spoil the child. The reason why me, I don't even want us to go by that too much because Sarah, some of us will abuse it. Okay, some of us parents abuse that term
In
because
actual fact, when the Bible said spare the rod and spoil the child, the Bible was not talking about the rod as a beating stick, as a cane.
okay,
A lot of
okay,
us misinterpret that. It's not a
yeah.
cane.
So, so your question, your child spanking lightly. The lightly, how is it? Because someone's lightly is somebody's. So, like I said, the consequence is that it would register on your child's mind that me way me mama be boom or boom me kwa be ama me or boom ya me so or be frustrated no I am me today be me I'll always do that. Or when I do that, mommy doesn't mind me. It doesn't mean that mommy doesn't love me. Why is mommy beating me all the time? Or is it that those who love me have to beat me? Do you get it? And in
That's an
adulthood,
interesting one.
and
Yeah.
into adulthood, you have them in relationships, be it friendship with their friends and all that. They'll tempt their friends just so their friends will beat them up. If my friend is beating me up, it means that my friend likes me. They'll go and do it again. Now, when they get married, my husband has to beat me before I understand that he loves me because my parents who love me were beating me, or my wife, or the men to, if it's a boy that you've been beating or spanking lightly, they grow up and then they say, if my mom was spanking me, my mom loves me, so let me spank my wife. It shows that I love her. Let's just remember that we as parents are our children's everything. Whatever mommy does to me means that mommy loves me. So I think I've over
So at
answered the
this
question.
point, if you don't agree with what Pamela is saying, if you think she's not being realistic, just put it in the comment section and I will let her know. But if there are some of the tips that you think that are very workable and you can adopt, also put it in the comment section and let us know. So you didn't exactly say yes or no to whether you should spank lightly,
Yes,
but
because
you have
lightly, if I say yes, someone's lightly is somebody is serious. You get it? Just
totally
be just
understand.
know that whatever
Yeah.
you are doing, it will register on your
Yes.
child's mind.
So, what is a better way if you don't want to spank, but Phoebe is not listening because she is still there? She's still there. Sometimes we see her in the camera. Sometimes you have to talk to her. She's not listening. What is a better way to do this than to spank her
Okay,
lightly?
so yeah. So like I said in the beginning, I ensure that everywhere is safe here and the so far as she's not touching my laptop, she's not touching my screen that I'm talking. She's not even touching my phone. My notebook is here, my pen is here. She's not touching it. She's not distracting me in any way. So I'm allowing her. If she tries to hurt herself, then I'll tell you that Seriam, can you give me a minute or so? Let me get back to you. Are you getting it? So sometimes we just want to stop them from doing whatever they are doing. But let's remember that they are human beings. They have a brain of their own. They like the brain has to work. Once your child is not hurting herself or another person, or is not directly distracting you, is
So
safe.
just like the shoes, it's not a
Yeah.
life and death matter.
Ah,
So yes, so
relax.
sometimes it's really not a life and death matter, and sometimes too, I find that we parents, we get too embarrassed about things that, because I understand what is happening here because I have children of my own. All the parents on here understand what is happening here, but sometimes we feel that they will say, "My, I'm the one who is spoiling my child. My child is spoiled," and everything. So we want to put up what I would call, want to show that, we are bigger. But really, what we are saying is that if I'm bigger than you, I should beat you, like you have explained. If I'm bigger than you, I should bully you. So sometimes it's really not a life and death matter. And it's not
So
even
let's
anything
let
that
it
was
go.
anything, yes. But the rule is that don't touch my laptop.
Yes.
Don't turn off the lights. So those ones become serious. But I mean, showing your face, letting everybody know
Ah,
this.
no problem. I already mentioned her name, so she wants to show her name in the camera. That is fine, but she don't touch my laptop, and she's not doing that, so that is fine. Yeah, that is fine.
Okay, so this is getting more and more interesting. Um, so we also call something,
Phoebe, Phoebe.
Phoebe is on show again. We also call something a meltdown. Is a meltdown the same as a tantrum?
Um, Meltdown. So we have ice. Ice is block. Ice melting down into water. So if you have your child, um, maybe your child wants a toy and the child doesn't get it, starts crying. I want it, I want it, I want it, I want it, mommy. No, I'm not giving it to you. Then the crying becomes serious. That is a meltdown. So tantrum is the first part. The oh mommy, I want it, I want it, I want it. That's the tantrum. Now the meltdown is the exaggeration. Atiako, tiafaso. So that's the difference between the tantrum and the meltdown. So most times when the tantrum starts, you can end it. You can prevent it from becoming a meltdown. Because then when they get to that stage, there's nothing that you do that they understand. Please, have I answered your question?
So when it proceeds to a meltdown, what should you do?
Okay.
I'm a parent, I'm watching, I've been in this situation before. When she just won't get up from the floor of the mall.
Yeah.
I mean,
So yeah, yeah. So Phoebe does that as well. Phoebe this morning, all of a sudden she says she wants to eat wachi. And mommy has jollof. And mommy wants to eat jollof. And mommy feels that jollof is nice. And today is Sunday. Where am I going to get wachi from? Phoebe says she doesn't want to eat the jollof and starts crying. I say, Phoebe, you eat jollof because I mean, it told me that in whole. It took me a lot of time for me to prepare it. I have your baby brother. I had to stand on my feet to cook the jollof. Now you tell me that you not eat the jollof, you want to eat wachi. Who born? Who born you? I born you or you born me? So what did I do? I made her see my frustration. I said, Phoebe, look at I just prepared the food in the kitchen. I am tired. I am tired. I prepared it for you. There is chicken on top. There is egg. Do you want the egg or the chicken? I mean, mommy is tired. And there's no wachi around. What do you want me to do? I'm so tired. So I let her see my frustration. Now she looked at me, she stopped crying, she looked at my face. I said, mommy, why are you talking like that? And I said, Phoebe, tell me, do you want the chicken or the egg? Tell me which one so that I'll go and get it for you. So remember that I didn't talk about the jollof again because she wants wachi and I have jollof. She said she doesn't want the jollof, but she likes the chicken. So you see how I turned into the chicken. Now I went to get the chicken and then the chicken for her, dished my jollof myself for myself. And she came around, Mommy, can I eat some of yours? Mission accomplished. So negotiation. They are humans. They will understand. Your child is yelling on the floor. Gigi, gigi.
So
Find a
how
way.
about if you just ignore
Direct
them?
them.
How about I have jollof, I'm tired, and so I'm not going to find wache anywhere. It's impractical. I just keep quiet. Be on the floor and
Okay.
whatever. Go and bend the
So,
seat.
which
Is
which
that a
we
good
we
strategy?
yeah, which we often do. Even me, I've done that before. So it's two things. It's impossible. She doesn't even want the chicken. There's no wachi. There's no way. In fact, I don't even go and get the wachi. I have things to do. So I'll leave Phoebe on the floor for a while. Say 2 minutes for her to yell. Phoebe, there's no wachi. The woman didn't come. Amelia didn't come. You're still crying. There's no wachi. There's nothing I can do about it. So I'll leave Phoebe on the floor to yell, but I'll come back to her and say, Phoebe, when you cry too much, your head will ache. I'll bring her some water to drink. Because what you are trying to teach her is that this request that you are making is impossible. You want to cry, thinking that when you cry and yell, you get it. It's not magic. There's no way you're going to get a wachi. So cry, but I'll give you water. Because you understand that when they cry like that, when they melt down, they become dehydrated. You get it? So they need water. So I'll just come and offer water to my child. If it's still continuing, then I'll redirect her attention. Okay, Phoebe. All right. Let's go outside. Let's go to the gate. Do you get it? You are now you don't want the watching, you don't want the water is not working. Now redirection. What does Phoebe like doing? So parenthood is not easy, oh parenthood.
So,
It's not
I mean,
easy.
I so much like how you answered the question. A lot of parents, and that's one of the things that we want parents to do because, like you mentioned, some tantrums are more of attention seeking. And
Yeah.
when they see that anytime they roll on the floor, they get the wachi. Tomorrow
Yes.
they are going to do the same thing. So sometimes you can actually ignore the tantrum.
Yeah.
But with when you are ignoring them, know your limits. If your child
Yes.
is going to roll, and hit the coal pot and fire paws on your child, then that's not a good one. But you've
Yeah.
looked around, you see that the place is safe, you can let your child roll on the floor. But make
Yes,
sure
but
they
not
don't
for
fall sick.
long. Hmm.
Yes, make sure they don't fall sick. Yeah, so Taste and Bloom just joined us, and then she says yes. She also waits for them to finish the tantrum, and then
Yeah.
she also says going outside always works too because her boys love the outdoor, so the redirection.
Yes.
But there's a question that we haven't taken for a long time. Papali is saying sometimes she tells the children to stop distracting her, like Phoebe is distracting you. And then if they don't, you will say, or she will say, I won't give you your favorite food, snack, or something you like best. If you don't stop, I'm not going to give you toffee. Or if you don't stop, I'm not going to give you your teddy bear. And then that gets them to stop. What do you think about that strategy?
Okay. Yes. Okay. Drink it. Yes. Drink it. Sophie was asking. She's already drinking the water, but she's asking if she should continue drinking. So attention seeking right there. So if you don't stop, I won't give
Get this.
you
Yeah.
your teddy bear. And Phoebe loves her teddy bear. She doesn't joke with it. So Phoebe is a prim and prop girl. Okay, she loves dresses. So if you want to get her to do something for you, tell her that I'll buy you a pink dress, and you have to add color to it. I'll buy you a green dress, and then she'll stop what she was doing. But mind you, she will remind you that, mommy, my pink dress. And if you don't fulfill it, there's going to be a tantrum. So for you to tell your child that stop distracting me, what mommy, what are you doing that your child is distracting you? How is your child distracting you? Like what is happening, Phoebe, right now? Once the whatever you are doing is not harmful to your child, maybe in the kitchen. So as for the kitchen, there is the knife, there's the gas, there's so many things over there that will hurt your child. For that one, your child has to, it's either you tie your, so we are talking about toddlers, it's either you tie your toddler at your back or you tell her that she should go and do something else. Now, when you use a strategy that if you don't do this, I'll not give this to you, when they do stop and you give them what you are giving to them, it will continue into adulthood. Just remember that everything that you tell them, it sticks. It doesn't go. It's there. Omudini, they grow up with it. Mothers, let's be mindful. Whatever bargain that we like to make with our children, so that we will feel okay. Remember that we have felt okay at that instant, but everything has registered in their mind into adulthood. So that strategy, I won't say that it's a good strategy because it sticks in their minds that when I do something and somebody doesn't like it, they should tell me, they should give me what I like, then I'll stop. So then if I'm not getting what I like, I'm not stopping. Does that answer the
So
question?
I think we can rather turn this strategy around.
Yeah.
So you ask them to stop a certain behavior so that when they stop, they get a reward. But we can turn it around and not attach a reward to stopping a bad behavior, but rather attaching the reward to not even exhibiting the or rather saying attaching the reward to exhibiting good behavior. So let's say after this session, I mean, this session could have gone two ways. Phoebe could have sat down very quietly and not disturbed you. Then after this session, you will tell Phoebe, Phoebe, you impressed me so much. You were very quiet throughout. You behaved very nicely, and I'm happy with you. So I'm giving you this to show my appreciation that you've been good. Rather than telling Phoebe now, Phoebe, if you don't stop this, you are not going to get biscuits when I am done. Because otherwise, Phoebe knows that to get biscuits, Phoebe must misbehave, and then you will promise her when she stops, she's going to get biscuits. So the
And
next time,
most times they don't even get anything.
so next time Phoebe is going to do this thing that you don't like in the hopes that you are going to say stop and I'm going to give you biscuits. But the way to turn around is that some of these things you can ignore them. But when they are on their very good behavior, then you now say, Phoebe, you were such a lady. Have this biscuit because you were such a lady. Phoebe will remember the next time, she will remember that when she sits quietly, she gets biscuits. And if she likes biscuits, she's going to do the same thing. What you don't want is that you create a situation where always you have to say stop this so that you get this. So sometimes I would ignore them, but the day I catch you on your very good behavior, and really that's the strategy that we use to do to stop things like thumb sucking, a lot of negative behaviors, or what we put in quotes negative, because thumb sucking exactly is not negative, but it just depends on the age.
Yeah.
So if you want to discourage thumb sucking, sometimes when they are sucking their thumb, you can ignore them. But often what we do is that if you remove your thumb, I'll give you toffee. No. But the day you catch them not sucking their thumb, you're not sucking your thumb. Take this crayon or something, go and color, something like that. So you reward the behavior you want to promote. And then some of the things, like we said, you can ignore them. Rather, so this is a way of just turning it around, and this works better than the other way. Yes, but of course, these things you have to remember that we are not in your homes with you. So though there are some recommended things, in my dealing with children, I've come to realize that they are so different. So sometimes to one strategy does not work for everyone. So your child's developmental level must also come into play. The situations in your home must also come into play. All those things must come into play. Thank you so much for your question, Fafali. So if you have other strategies that you use at home to control your children's tantrum or prevent them from happening at all, you can share you can share them with us. Some of the ones we have shared already is that if you know your child throws tantrums when they are tired or when they are feeling sleepy, that is not the time that you are going to take them out because they are going to be feeling sleepy and then they are going to throw a tantrum. So rather make sure that they have a nap before you go out with them. Or even if you're not going out, you know that this is nap time. So it helps if they know that at 4, I must have a nap. You see, so there should also be certain rules, not so rigid anyway, but at 4, let them have a nap. So because you have noticed that when they are feeling sleepy, they throw more tantrums, and then you are even not creating the situation for the tantrum to arise, and negotiating. If
Yeah.
it's not really a life and death matter, don't make a mountain out of a molehill. Don't use a gun to shoot an ant, you know. So those are some of the strategies. But if you have other strategies as well, we would love you to share them with us. Or if you have questions, or if you don't agree with anything that we are saying, we all want to learn, and so you can also share that with us, and it will make our parenting better, which is what we want to do at the end of the day anyway. So um when should you say this one, I'm not winning, I need to see a doctor, or I need to see somebody who is trained? When do you say that I'm not winning?
Okay. So, um, hey, Phoebe, come on, don't go there. Come, come. Okay. So when do I decide that it has overed me? So tantrums should end. Sorry, tantrum starts from, so my son like this. My baby is 7 months old and already he's exhibiting some tantrums. So I'll say that now tantrums, because every child that comes into the world now is different. Now we can't even, doctor, what do you say? We can't even say that this age, this so and all that. So my baby boy is 7 months old, exhibiting tantrums already. So it ends by 4 years old. It should have ended because that is where now they're able to communicate properly. They're able to ideally manage their emotions. So if after 4 years old is getting worse and worse and worse, from 4 years old, they should actually minimize because that's where they're able to manage their emotions. But if it's getting worse after 4 years old, then it's time to see the doctor. You get it? It's getting worse and worse after 4 years old. Then we have to see the doctor.
So let me just interject and say some of the reasons why you need to see a doctor if by 4 years old the tantrums are not coming down. 4 years, 4 years, your child is in kindergarten. Your child should be able to sit for a short period, not that the child is always up disrupting people. At 4 years old, your child is still throwing tantrums. Sometimes those children are deaf. They are deaf or they are partially deaf. They cannot hear. So sometimes you always need to shout for them to hear you. But you may not know because maybe they are not completely deaf. So it always results in a tantrum. You say something, they don't hear, so they don't do it. And then you get upset. And then they also get upset. And then you say that my child is stubborn. It's possible your child is behaving that way because your child is not even hearing you in the first place. So you are rather frustrating your child and frustrating yourself in addition. The child can't hear you. Or like Pamela mentioned earlier, your child's language is slow. Your child wants to say so many things, you cannot express them the way you are used to, which is using words, and so they tend to act out. So those are some of the reasons why you need to see a doctor. Or sometimes maybe it's just your parenting technique. And that one, if the doctor identifies it, the doctor will have to refer you to somebody who is more skilled than doctors in helping you, say a clinical psychologist or a child therapist, somebody who can help you and your child, your family. So those are the reasons why when tantrums are not ending, they are never ending, they are just getting worse. You need to see a doctor. Sometimes we just label these children, they are bad, they are stubborn, they don't hear. This child is not doing well in school. This child can't write. Probably the child can't write, and you comes home and you're upset because the child can't even see from the board. Maybe the child needs spectacles, or maybe it's not even spectacles, it's something else. Child can't see. You know, it just takes me back to when we had Vera on the show, and Vera said her child will copy every line 2 times. If the teacher writes the dog is black, her son will write the dog is black, and then the next line he will still write the dog is black. And that made her think, because she's an ophthalmologist, that made her think my son has double vision. But she could have gone on beating her child for writing everything twice because the teacher was complaining. They say write once. Why are you writing it twice all the time? So those are the reasons why when tantrums are not disappearing, you need to seek professional advice, because there may be something that you are not identifying. Maybe your child's development is not at par with the other children and you may not notice. So those are the reasons why you need to seek professional advice. So all too soon, we've been talking for more than an hour because it's even just now getting more and more interesting. So if you have questions, we are about rounding up, so you should put them in the comment section. Otherwise, Pamela, what are the things that you are thinking, if we don't remember anything at all, we should remember these things?
Okay. So, first and foremost, one, your tantrums is normal, um, is part of child development. Oh, Phoebe, you've turned the light off. You see, we are ending the
Now it has happened.
show. Now the thing is happening. Phoebe, turn it on. I can't see Auntie. Phoebe, please turn the light on. I can't see Auntie. Turn it on. It's not working. So, first and foremost, so tantrum is part of early childhood development. It's a stage, is a phase that will pass, and it's a way they communicate to us. They came in as infants, babies, watching everything that we were doing around them. Now they get to a stage 2 years old where they can actually walk, actually talk. So they feel that they are adults, they are little adults. So they will try to challenge what we say to them. It is a phase that will pass. Okay. So we need to understand that whatever they do is as a result of what they have seen or what they have heard before. And it's up to us to be calm, to calm our nerves, to say that, oh, this too shall pass. You get it? But I have something else to share before we go. If it's time for me to share it, then I
Please
will
share
want
it.
to, because now Phoebe is turning the lights off. And
Please share it.
so this is a poem by a 2 year old. She says, I am two. I am not terrible. I am frustrated. I am nervous, stressed out, overwhelmed, and confused. I need a hug. As simple as that. Then another one says, today I woke up and wanted to get dressed by myself, but was told no, we don't have time. Let me do it. This made me sad. I wanted to feed myself for breakfast, but I was told, no, you are too messy. Let me do it for you. This made me feel frustrated. I wanted to walk to the car and get in on my own, but was told, no, We need to get going. We don't have time. Let me do it. This made me cry. I wanted to get out of the car on my own, but was told no, we don't have time. Let me do it. This made me want to run away. Later, I wanted to play with blocks, but was told no, don't do it like that. Do it like this. I decided I didn't want to play with blocks anymore. I wanted to play with a doll that someone else had. So I took it. I was told, no, don't do that. You have to share. I'm not sure what I did, but it made me sad. So I cried. I wanted a hug, but was told, no, you are fine. Go and play. I'm being told it's time to pick up. I know this because someone keeps saying, go pick up your toys. I am not sure what to do. I am waiting for someone to show me. So this is toddlerhood. I want to do things by myself. Let me do it. Mommy says, no, I'll do it for you. I don't understand. I can't do it. I have watched you from infancy, lying on the bed in the cot, watching you left back, left, right. I have learned so many things. Now I have arrived. Let me do my own thing. You want to do it. I won't let you do it. Then tantrum happens. So this is life through the eye of a toddler. I want to do it myself. Then we say, no, I won't let you do it because I'm in a hurry. You in it. Yeah. All right, Sarah.
Thank you so much. And that is our cue. We have enjoyed having you. I hope that we have learned a lot of things that will help us in our parenting. We've learned to identify the situations that will make our children throw tantrums, and as much as possible, don't let those situations arise. For example, them being excessively tired. We've learned that some tantrums, you can ignore them. We've learned that it's not everything that deserves so much attention. Some, the children forget in no time. A 2-year-old attention span is like 5 minutes or even less. So in 5 minutes or less, they are going to forget. So sometimes you should try and meet them halfway. But in doing all this, there must be strict rules. There are certain things that are not permitted. And we should rather reward good behavior rather than using rewards to get them to stop bad behavior. That is another thing that we should bear in mind. Thank you so much for joining. If you don't know that we have a YouTube channel, please go there and subscribe. Just go to YouTube and search Baby Child and Co. And then we also have a very nice website. It's babychildandco.com. You can go there. We have very insightful articles for you. And then we have our parenting club, which is basically our subscription. If you join it every week, we will mail you and give you information relevant to the age of your child. So if you are a new mom, first week, we are telling you about things like jaundice, how to get your milk in, how to breastfeed. If your baby is 4 months, we are checking, is their neck strong? Have they got head control, neck control, those sort of things. So you should join our parenting club as well if your child is under 2, because we only do that till 2 years old. Thank you so much. And thank you, Pamela. We've really enjoyed it. And we've enjoyed having Phoebe on our show. She's actually the first child coming on our show. In fact, when I am doing my live, I make sure that my children are either not at home because I'm preventing a tantrum. I don't want a situation where I'll be saying, stop it, because that may lead to a tantrum. So I make sure that they are not at home. But you can show that we can do this even with the children around us. Because I remember one day I was doing it and somebody turned the camera the other way. Thank you
This
so
one I have
much.
fixed it so well that she can't tamper with it.
Thank you so much. Bye bye.
Bye.